Hey there, hi there. It's me, Priscilla B, and welcome to learning how to read tarot cards. So, behind me, you can see there is the Two of Wands and the World, okay? And I created these on my own using the Canva AI generator. I just typed in Two of Wands and I typed in the World Tarot, and this is what popped up. So I really love this because the two are somehow like intertwined. You can see on the left hand side, you have the Two of Wands, and you have two females with each holding a wand. And specifically, one wand they're both holding that's like a light or a beacon, a magical wand to a different universe, to a different portal. And you have pictures of the world in the corners as well. And down to the right, on the bottom there, you even have what looks like a tree. And there's all this nature around them. It even looks like a castle in the background, and water, and like a little town, almost like they're goddesses of this like part of the world. And then off to the right, you have the world, where you have just one figure looking masculine or feminine with like a world crown hat of some sort, and they're holding two wands. The world is there, so it's almost like a transition, right? And then on the far right, you have these two pictures of the world with all these like characters and things like that. So basically, what's happening here is there's a story unfolding. There's a story being told here. So I'd like to emphasize that as we get into more interpretation, okay? All right. So think of these pictures as your setting, your characters. The story is beginning to unfold. And then we transition to, let's see, so then we transition to the high priestess, okay? So the high priestess is that all knowing, intuitive, divine feminine goddess energy. The balance between good and evil. There's so many interpretations here, so I want you to feel out which one you're drawn to the most, okay? You have on the left, top left here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different versions of what the high priestess can look like. And then you even have a picture here that almost defines like what the high priestess, um, her altar would look like, right? Because you have the two candlesticks almost, and then in the center is almost like this magical, just like decoration, I guess you would say, right? And it's almost like you're trying to um, define here um, what the high priestess looks like to you. And then over in the center, you even have the high priestess. It says high priestess on here. High priestess, right? That's what the AI came up with, which I think is really cool. And you even have an orange cat like familiar, and she has the world there in the center, and then all the symbols behind her almost kind of signify the different astrological symbols. I mean, it's not exactly, coming out so perfect imagery, but it's supposed to represent the imagery. It's what you see, it's what you interpret. And then on the far hand side, you even have the almost like what looks like a fortune teller, like what the classic imagery of a fortune teller is. Her eyes are like white, she's holding the globe, like the crystal ball, I mean, there. So there's so much imagery here, okay? And then on the far bottom, you have, a woman holding almost like a key, a tiny little crystal ball version, in her hand. So these words and this imagery, it's all coming together to collectively tell a story of what a high priestess looks like or can look like, or what she represents. She's always wearing a long white blue flowing gown, but sometimes she could be wearing different color gowns, right? She has more than one outfit, she has more than one crown, she has more than one hairstyle. There's all these different perceptions, right? There's all these different realities, okay? So it's what you interpret that tells the story, that unfolds it into more, okay? So now we have death. Okay, we have the death card. Okay, so this is classic representation of death is bones, the skeleton, the human skeleton. Um, the one on the far top here, I guess it's my left, but it could be your right, is what looks like the skeleton bones of a woman, almost like a high priestess, but the skeleton version, right? And she's holding two, almost like wands, or they kind of look like wands to me, to be honest, in her hands. There's a compass behind her, the Wheel of Fortune, right? It's all telling a story, it's all intertwining. Okay, and then I love this one at the center here because this is really honestly like the epitome of like I am death, right? Like the acknowledgement of like death is within me. This is me on the inside. This is my shadow self. This is that darker side to the high priestess. The high priestess, when I say the high priestess, I think of like beautiful, light being, but the skeleton is the darker side, right? The reminder that we're all human, right? And life is so fragile and so precious. And then also you have on, the other side, you have death, which the devil, if you look at the devil card in a classic tarot deck, there's always like the devil, right? The interpretation of the devil. And then there's these two this man and woman, and they're chained to the devil. So this card almost picture almost reminds me of that, but the death version of that. Okay, so look at your classic tarot deck and compare and contrast here. And then at the top you have another death card, which again really reminds me of the high priestess version, just a like a shadow version of the high priestess, with the two candles, with the holding of the two like one is almost like a black rose, the other one is like a staff or a wand, and then the spinning wheel behind her of the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune can spin in the direction of death, right? As we all know, it can go to the negative side of things, can go to the shadow side of things. So there's all these different, things happening here, but these different interpretations, okay? So choose which one resonates with you the most and use it to inspire you to tell a story, to showcase a character, to interpret what's going around in the world around you. Okay. And we have the um, so this is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, this is the interpretation of the Wheel of Fortune. They all look the same, shape wise, but there's slight differences, slight variations, slight different color contrasts here. You have south, you have north, west, east, but more importantly, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Look at that as like the cycle of life, right? And it can spin in one direction and point you in one direction, but it can totally point you another direction, and almost like time and travel. And there's like this sense of purpose, or this sense of belonging, of where you want to go. You might want to head in the direction of a more light life balance sort of journey or path, or you might want to travel in the more darker side of things, the unknown, the stars, the galaxy, right? So it's all about what you want to see come out of this. All right. So I'm going to leave you off with that because, we went over a lot of different archetypal tarot card symbolism here. So just choose what resonates with you the most and use that to inspire you to tell a story. Use it to help inspire you to really dive into where you're going or where you want to go or how you want to tell someone's journey or the characters in your story's journey. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Love and light always, and have fun and enjoy. Bye. Till next time.